Stick around to the end and you'll find out how you could win your very own pair of wings. Hello. We're going to make something beautiful. And what we're going to make are some glorious crystal wings for this guy. This guy I made in part 1, and if you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out. In part 1, I took a giant block of wood, I carved it into this guy, and then I burned this guy with a flamethrower. This video is part 3. I went ahead and skipped part 2 because no one likes a number 2. Like I said, I'm going to be making crystal wings, but technically they're not going to be made out of crystal. They're going to be made out of a super clear resin, hopefully all working out and not turning into a giant pile of dookie. And then we're gonna have to figure out a way to mount them and then put the lights in. It's gonna be really tricky. And the way I'm gonna do that is we need some clay and mold making supplies. So let's go to the clay and mold making supply store. And we're here, Ryan Reynolds Advanced Materials. Let's go in and check it out. That's a lot of stuff. Hey, I remember you, buddy. How's it going? It's okay, buddy. We'll get you to a dermatologist. Shh, don't speak. Oh dear, I'm totally hooked on this place. I ain't lying. Whoa, this guy's totally like staring at me. Shh, don't speak. Sorry. Boop. So this is the mold making stuff. Looks like you gotta go through a bunch of steps, building it up, and then putting this exterior shell on it. It's gonna be interesting. Let's get all the stuff we need for it. I'm also gonna need some clay. Goodbye, my friend, until we meet again. Shh, don't speak. Yeah. Okay, now that we have our metric butt ton of materials, let's go home and make something. Okay. So the way we get this started is, first thing I did was I went to the interwebs and I found a picture of wings that I really liked the shape of. Then I imported that into GIMP and manipulated it just to give them a little bit of a stylized look. Once I was happy with that, printed them out and taped them all together to create my reference. Now, since these wings are gonna be very tall and also bendy unless they have a skeleton inside them, we need to make an armature. And to hold the armature, I just took some plywood, cut it into a couple of squares, then I took a metal flange which is threaded so it can accept an 8-inch nipple, mounted the flange and nipple to the board. Now, using my reference, I can go ahead and start creating an aluminum core. That way then I can go back and add some clay onto it. Ew. Whoa. All right, I know they look stupid now, but wait until the morning when they're all set up and hard. Oh my gosh, guys, you have to see this. It's a miracle. Woo! Yeah! Oh, never mind. They're still ugly. So the next step is to put some feathers on these bad boys. But first, look at this. What I've decided to do is use plexiglass for those outside leading edge feathers, because those are actually what I'm gonna be putting all the other feathers onto, and it needs a nice strong foundation. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm going to use my print off as a pattern to then create patterns for each individual feathers. Then, using the fact the plexiglass is clear, I'm just going to transfer the design of each feather onto it, cut those out on the bane saw. And once they're all cut out, I'm gonna use my angle grinder to add a little bit of more of a taper along the edges. How do you work this here phone? Why is it pointing in the wrong direction? Oh, there we go. As you can see, I've got all of the feathers done. You can see I actually put like a bevel into the feather, like a real feather, actually on both sides. Yeah, I think sometimes I go too far, but I think it's going the distance that makes the difference. You can quote me on that. My plan is drill some holes, then I'm going to take those feathers, hot glue them. This is all essentially a super complicated armature that just also happens to be part of the sculpture. All of that was basically just a really long way of me saying, let's do that. Now that we have that done, we need to start putting some clay on these bad boys. And because I want my feathers to be uniform across both wangs, I decided to go ahead and print off another one of these, but this time went around the whole thing just to create an outline pattern. That's pretty much it. Video's over. Thank you for watching. Then I'm gonna cut it so that it just basically reveals the secondary row of feathers. Then I'm gonna use that as a template to then know where to sculpt the second row of feathers. Then I went ahead and bought a bunch of this stuff. It's sulfur-free oil-based clay by Chavant. The reason you have to go sulfur-free is because the silicone will not set up if there's any kind of sulfur on it.
Yes, I do say so, if I do say so myself. And I do.
Enough shenanigans, let's get on with it. Okay, you can see the wangs are pretty much done. In fact, they are done. Now we just need to mold them. And what I'm going to use to make a mold out of this is this stuff. This is the stuff you saw me get at the beginning, and this stuff is a 2-part silicone rubber mold making goo. So the first step is you take it, you mix it equal parts, then you paint on a very thin coat, being very careful to cover every square inch. This is sort of a detail layer to capture, well, the detail. Ew, it looks like peach flavored boogers. Delicious. Then you put another coat on, which is a little bit thicker, and even another coat. You basically keep building up the layers until it's about 1/2 inch thick all the way around. Then we're gonna create a really thick area right along the seam where I'm gonna cut it to remove it off the piece. Then once you get your sculpture coated in silicone, you want to put some sort of exoskeleton around it, because the silicone is basically going to be this floppy, rubbery thing, and it's not going to hold its shape. But today I'm going to be using a 2-part super ultra lightweight sculpting epoxy dough. And just like the silicone, I'm going to thoroughly mix up equal parts until homogeneous. Then I'm going to apply an even layer all across only 1/2 of the wing, making sure to leave a flange that sticks out beyond the edge, maybe a couple of inches. Once that half has completely set up and cured, all along the edge I added petroleum jelly. That's there so that the other half doesn't stick to it and we can pry it apart. Then repeat on the other side. Please tell me I'm pretty. Okay, now that that is done, we gotta crack this thing out of its shell. There's the seam line, and ew. If it doesn't work, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let's go for it. Okay, yeah, starting to come apart. There we go. Ow. It's got my finger. What? Yay! Why do I keep getting blue on me? Whoa, that is weird looking. It's like a perfect mold of the mold. Oh yeah. Woo! Now I gotta get the sculpture out of this. Okay, here we go. Oh, that is cool. Look at the detail. It's like opening a really weird present. Okay, this is working. Now, the hard part's gonna be the tips. There we go. Wonder if I can just kind of peel it. That's gonna be difficult. How am I gonna get those out? You see it inflate?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the other side. Yay! Yay! Yay indeed, Bobby. Yay indeed. But little did he know, after he drilled holes in the outside flange of the mold so that he could securely hold the two halves in place with bolts, he made a grave mistake which cost him much time. The moment of truth. No, Bobby, you are stupid. That comes later. See, what he did was he used the Alumilite resin Clear Slow, which is an excellent resin, but it clearly states that you have to use a pressure pot so that it doesn't have a copious amount of bubbles. But the cure time is very short, so I decided to give it a shot. And once I learned my lesson, I decided to do it again exactly the same way. But this time, I was hoping for a different outcome, because that makes sense. Poor smooth brain. But what I lack in brains, I make up with bangs. Oh, look at the idiot trying to get rid of the air bubbles with a syringe full of resin. By the way, these are the wings I'll be giving away. Until I finally bit the bullet and decided to use the resin I should have started with in the first place. Okay, let's see if third try is the charm. How does that saying go?
Third time's the charm?
Third time's a try.
Yes.
This one is actually not horrible, but I mean, if you look at it, just look at it. I don't mind a little bit of bubbles, but this was full of bubbles, and this has nothing to do with the resin. It has everything to do with me and being impatient. I want it now. From the very beginning, Alumilite was like, you need to use this stuff. This is the Amazing Deep Pour. It's a new product from Alumilite. It's a super slow reacting, low viscosity resin where you don't need a pressure pot because it stays liquid for so long that it allows all the bubbles to rise to the top. Thank you so much to Alumilite. They've been amazing sending me these resins. The way I'm going to pour different this time is I'm actually going to only pour it up to about here. All of these bubbles that are caught along this edge, I'm gonna tip it so that hopefully they will run up along here, collect in the back, and then I'm gonna tip it back vertical. That way they can all run up the back and out the cloaca. And then I'm going to finish pouring it the rest of the way. Please work! Ah! Okay, hopefully third charm is the time. Oh, yes. Wow. That is perfect. Like, dude. Yes! Woo! It was worth the extra time this took because that is perfect. That's what I was wanting. Now that we have the wings to this point, you'll notice that they have a matte finish, and that's pretty cool looking, but it's not the look I'm going for. I want them super clear, I want them super glossy. And the way I'm gonna achieve that is with something called Amazing Clear Cast Plus, also by Alumilite. And the way I'm gonna do that is mix it up, then I'm gonna paint over the entire surface. Then once the resin had cured, I went ahead and wrapped both wings with some plastic to give them a little bit of extra protection against infection. Oh my gosh, literally, the only thing I have left to do is to assemble it. I'm scared because this is super complicated and I've never done this before and I've spent hundreds of hours on this piece and I might mess up. But you know what? No, I won't mess up. And you know why? Because I'm Babadook Arts. Hey guys, I finally finished Entropy of the Soul, falling through a unicorn tear. Don't go! As promised, I still need to tell you how you can win this pair of wings, but first I want to tell you about this video's sponsor, Raycon. See what it did there? I'm getting almost to the point where I cannot make art unless I'm listening to something on my Raycons. Just pop those in. They are by far my very favorite pair of earbuds. I mean, look at them. They're adorable. I take these things everywhere, when I'm flying, when I'm working, when I'm sitting around the house. They fit inside my pocket, inside their little charging case, which by the way, will charge the earbuds up to 3 times without having to recharge the charger. We're gonna just pop those right on in there. Up to 6 hours of continuous use. They also sound amazing with extra bass. Like I said before, as soon as you open the little door, they immediately connect. Pop them on in, super low profile, and they come in a bunch of fun colors. Raycon started about half the price of other leading earbuds on the market. I do believe I'll pop them in. So if you're interested about getting a pair like mine, which are the Everyday E25s, pop them in. Go down to the description, use my link, or go to buyraycon.com/BobbyDuke to get 15% off. If you don't absolutely love them, which I know you will, you still have 45 days to return them. That way you know they're exactly the right earbuds you want. Pop. And remember, Christmas is right around the corner. Okay, and now, the way you can win a pair of wings. And by the way, they're not just gonna come in the mail like this. I'm going to mount them. They're gonna have some lights under them. It's gonna be pretty cool. Literally, all you have to do, follow me on the Twitters @BobbyDukeArts, and then retweet the tweet that has to do with this video. So I'm gonna tweet a link and a picture to this video. You just gotta retweet it. That's it. I will randomly select a person that does all that. I know it sucks, but you gotta be in the US. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter anyways, just because I post literally every single day. So if you want a little more Dukey in your life, go ahead and give me a follow. Also, I have a second pair of wings that I'm going to be giving exclusively to one of my patrons. You will have a better chance if you become a patron. I wish I could give one to all of my patrons, but in the future on Patreon, I promise I'm going to be doing something where I give all of my patrons something. I just figured until then, I can at least give one of you guys a pair of the wings. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always appreciate it. And I know it's taken me forever to get this video out, but this project took a buttload of time. I love you all, and until next time, I can't think of anything.